look either through the viewfinder or with cute little rig. I'll let you experiment.
Yeah, I'll see what he says.
May the God be with you. Fans, and welcome back to Wilson's Group Stadium at Royal Athletic Park, home of your Victoria HarbourCats. Today's base night game is between the Victoria HarbourCats and visiting Ridgefield Raptors. Cool. HarbourCats are fresh off a playoff spot and first half division title. Clinching victory over the Bellingham Bells this weekend. The Cats now host the WCL's newest expansion team, the Ridgefield Raptors. This is game 2 of a 3-game set. We're now in our 7th season of HarbourCats baseball, the longest tenure of any team in Victoria baseball history. The third and final game of the series goes tomorrow night at 6:35 here at Wilson Group Stadium. The Cats will then hit the road for a 7-game road trip before returning home to host the Yakima Valley Pippins for 3 games on the weekend of the 19th, 20th, and which is our third Waterworks game. You will not want to miss it. Get your tickets now or book online.
And out on the street are so many possibilities to not be alone.
The team was placed in our end of season to give you a chance to win a $1,000 travel voucher. Fill out the form on page 25 of today's game day program for a chance to win the big trip along with many other great prizes throughout the course of today's game. For more information, visit the information booth or the HarbourCats Facebook page. Fans, don't forget to stop by the Cat Shop located on the first base concourse, your one-stop shop for all your favorite HarbourCats gear. New styles and hats, sweaters, and shirts to go along with the return of all your favorites from last year. Mainly produced by Passion Sports and New Era Caps. Now available at the merchandise booth on the concourse. For a limited time, all t-shirts are 20% off and hoodies 10% off. Good night and get a hoodie. Don't miss your chance to get all your favorite HarbourCats gear. Don't forget to check out our website, HarbourCats.com, where you can also order all our HarbourCats gear online. Watch for our in-game promos, Toho Ferry Boat Race, Virgin Radio's Heads or Tails, Pastime Grand Prix Tire Race, the Bag and Bash, warm cookies delivered from the Cookie Guy, bumper balls with Good Life Fitness, and the Dizzy Bat Race brought to you by Flying Squirrel. Baker Tilly's stat of the game and so much more. Spending time at the park join the green team. Stop by the information booth and see one of our green team members. year for future HarbourCats games. Taking applications for people for the 2019 season. Our 7th season of HarbourCats baseball. Email greenteam@harbourcats.com for more information. Did you buy your tickets for tonight's game at the box office? Don't forget you can also buy HarbourCats tickets online or on your mobile phone through the HarbourCats Ticket Rocket box office on harbourcats.com. If you do so, you can pick up your tickets at the Wallace Driving School will call window at the main gate. Skip the line, save some time, buy online. Alright guys, here's an early look at today's lineup. For the visiting Ridgefield Raptors, the shortstop leading off the shortstop number 9, Johnny Weaver. Batting second, the left center fielder, number 24, Jack Power. Batting third, the designated hitter, number 37, Brody Barnum. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, number 12, Grayson Sterling. Batting fifth, the right fielder, number 23, Michael York. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 10, Dominic Ensbody. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 5, Tyler Earn. Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 41, Noah Taylor. And batting ninth, the second baseman, number 2, Justin Boyd. Starting pitcher tonight for the Ridgefield Raptors, number 3, Peter Allegro. And now the starting lineup for your Victoria HarbourCats. Leading off the left fielder, number 54, Kyle Sherrick. Batting second, the center fielder, number 22, Jason Willow. Batting third, the catcher, number 27, Frankie Demon. Correction, first baseman, number 27, Frankie Demon. Batting cleanup, the designated hitter, number 51, Kyle Harper. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 28, Tyler Pettit. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 6, Harrison Spawn. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 9, Nick Adams. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 14, Chase Mydroff. And batting ninth, the second baseman, number 2, Tanner Keeney. Starting pitcher tonight for your HarbourCats from Lower Columbia College, number 29, Dakota Hopkins. The head coach of your Victoria HarbourCats, the always energetic and smiling Todd Haney.
I braved treacherous streets and kids strung out on homemade speed, and we shared a bed in which I could not sleep at all. Sun and dream made the sky line up like crooked teeth in the mouth of a man who was devouring You're so cute when you're slurring your speech, but they're closing the bar and they want us to leave, and we can't find nothing at all. If there was nothing there all along, no, you can't find nothing at all. If there was nothing there all along, I'm a war of head versus heart. It's always
Scott, where the hell were you?
I felt terrible. No, I was having like a sinus infection.
Yeah.
You ever get sinusitis? Because I've got a nose rinse, like salt water.
Oh, yeah.
Salt water and apple cider vinegar that hurts like hell. But
Yeah.
it burns it right out.
Yeah.
We're just in on the boss. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Aren't you married to the boss?
Yeah. That's how it works.
You just said. I just let you to the boss. I don't even want it. So, Jake, go.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that good or no? No, it's fine.
I always like to look on the positive side. I don't think I'm going to be too much punishment for that.
See? Exactly. I don't think anybody's going to get burnt tonight. Yeah.
And then, oh, remember, we've got dinner for mom. Okay. And I
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab a ball.
Couldn't be with us for a good day. I was heartbroken. Thankfully, we discovered a floor now. They responded right away and connected us to high-speed internet. Our big day was incredible because it felt like no one was there.
Explore. Connect to what matters.
Hi, Abby.
Fuel supplement.
That's a pretty good setup you got.
Second base
Wow,
number
it's a
2.
pretty expensive camera.
Even out for him at the plate today. The power. Jefferson Hill, the Red Arrow Brewing Company drinks beer with a personality that has meaning to Vancouver Island. Beer crafted to be intriguing, unseen, and free. This year, Red Arrow turns things up with Ballpark 1, a lager-style ale available here on tap around the stores across British Columbia. It's already a Ballpark favorite. And back again this season, every Wednesday is Winning Wednesday.
Scott, you know what I'm going to do?
Wednesday,
Taking the day off, I'm going to sit up there, and I'm going to critique the manager all game long.
Do you want me to be an honorary boss?
Yes, let's do that.
Want to come over
You're honorary.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. How are you? Recently,
Hey, Dan.
Wilson Transportation is the official
You
transportation.
trying to look like Jesus here or what?
He's going to do the
Cats are on the road.
Jordan Jesus, I mean Jordan Jesus.
The original fuel supplier of the HarbourCats.
He's not on camera. Yeah, not light enough.
Oh,
That's right. No, it's too light. It's all pale. Have fun, guys.
You may tire of me as our December sun is setting, 'cause I'm not who I used to be.
Yeah, we all did.
No longer easy on the eyes, but these wrinkles masterfully disguise the youthful boy below. Who turned your way and saw something he was not looking for, both the beginning and the end. But now he lives inside someone he does not recognize when he catches his reflection on accident. On the back of a motorbike, with your arms outstretched, trying to take flight, leaving everything behind. But even at our swiftest speed, we couldn't break from the concrete in the city where we still reside. And I've learned that even landlocked lovers yearn for the sea like Navy men. 'Cause now we say goodnight from our own separate sides, like brothers on a hotel bed. Like brothers on a hotel bed. Like brothers on a hotel bed. Like brothers on a hotel bed.
The game day program is the key to winning. Find one of our volunteers running the program is your key to winning all games and all.
You may tire of me as our December sun is setting, 'cause I'm not who I used to be.
Please support this great program by your end of the roll at 50/50.
Yeah, right. Just right over here and access to downtown where I can go walk around.
Don't forget to keep an eye out on today's Big Batter.
It's nice to be able to walk out there. Call the car.
Tonight it is the left fielder number 51. That's Lewis Taylor.
Yeah, I'm not
Each
even
night
sure
each
on that.
batter they put
I ain't gotten that
one
far.
is the King
I'm barely in the second half.
Yeah. Some lucky vendors winning a $500 gift card courtesy of the King. For every RBI that saves HarbourCats designated hitter gets Dale Marshall, Marshall Capacity Lawyer, $50 to the local power to be.
Non-alcoholic champagne. Yeah.
I'm ready when you are.
Today's Marshall Capacity designated hitter is number 51, Kyle Harper.
Yeah, good to see you. Glad you said hi.
Tesseract Computer provides Wi-Fi at Wilson Crusades. You can stay connected. Find the Tesseract 2.0 network and you can
I'm here for moral support.
HarbourCats. Stay in touch.
Really? You have to.
Big fan.
I've been on my knees.
I'll still get you. Take a ride on the new Wild Blade zip line.
I feel shorter already. Good to see you. Oh, I layered up today. Remember last time we were here with frozen? And he came the same Jesus sandals. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Well, you know what to do.
Took his radio off and told me I was the boss.
Maybe more.
Yes? Yep. As far as I know.
Oh.
I'm surprised. 639-274.
Hey, I missed your song. I missed your singing. Yeah. Was that? Oh man. Okay. Yeah. I got to go back to that. We'll get you to do a solo. You guys did a great job with the singing.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Yes. Well, I'm going to talk about Wayne Wright. I'm going to introduce Jordan Park. I'm going to talk about what they on the page. If we talk about party birthday, we're done.
Hey, Troy.
Hey, Don. Hey, how are you?
He's got to autograph that ball for you. Yeah.
You throwing first base? That's the ball you're doing it?
I think okay, let's go.
He better hurl it, because last year when I did it, it went yeah.
What a day, man, with the rain.
All right, fans, we got a treat for you tonight. Please welcome your on-field host, S, with the most S. This is Lori Swanson.
Everybody, I know you're wet. Let's get started. I'm not going to be long up here. I do want to welcome you all to the stadium at Royal Athletic Park on Faith Night. We have a great neighbor in GT Church, and we're really glad for those of you that are here. I know there's some over in Section 11, some over in Section 7. Those people from GT, welcome you guys here. In just a minute, I'm going to invite a couple guests to help us get started, but I want to remind you of a few things. After the exciting win on Sunday afternoon, we did clinch first place, which means we are going to the playoffs. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have some details available. You'll be able to start buying some tickets, so just keep your ears open. Today we have some guests up on the listening group. Athletic experience, we have BC Children's Hospital, so welcome to you guys up there. Yeah, welcome to you guys over there. We have a few other groups. We have Global Victoria English Center. They are visiting with us today. That was a new shirt, guys. And our 50-50 today is being brought to you by Victoria Islanders Triple A Mosquito Baseball Team. So look forward to that. They're getting ready for a few tournaments coming up. I want to remind you that this is our second of 3 games versus Ridgefield. And tomorrow we have a very special day, and it's Harvey's birthday. Don't tell him that we're having a surprise party session. Yeah, so hopefully we'll stop and we'll be able to celebrate. After tomorrow, the team goes on a road trip. They're stopping to play Ridgefield again, in Bend and in Walla Walla. And then we will be back for our next homestand, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, July 19th, 20th, and 21st. With July 20th being next week, all of our fireworks games. If you've never been, it would be a good idea to stop by. So make sure you come to that. Also on July 19th, we'll have some very special guests in. We will have the family of the Little Broncos bus driver. His family will be in, and we will be honoring them before our game. So hopefully you guys will all show up to that. I'd like to get started by inviting Jordan and Park. Jordan and Park are from DC. They are our team captains. Yeah, Jordan and Park. And we thank them for being part of our team. Support for our players, and we're really glad that they ever heard our team. So, we're going to start the game, and then we'll our prank. Yes.
All right, one prayer. Lord God, we just thank you for who you are, God. Thank you for today. Don't so much thank you for everything. All right. We just pray that the Islanders will be here and play the fun. Be prepared.
All right, first,
Can I get someone to tie?
and they are finished. Thank you, gentlemen.
Make us proud, Jordan. Make us proud.
Jordan's a former ball player. He's gonna be Nice. That was good.
Do you want one? From right there? No, just do it from right there.
Chase, get over there. Takes a good picture.
Back up to you then.
Did he sign it for you?
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you please rise.
From Wilson's Group Stadium at Royal Athletic Park, it's the middle game of this three-game midweek set between the Victoria HarbourCats and Ridgefield Raptors. Thanks for tuning in tonight on Shaw Spotlight and Go Live broadcasts. We are just in the middle of the Anthems pre-game, so we will step aside for the conclusion of the Anthems and have baseball for you between the HarbourCats and the Raptors here on this Tuesday night. Hi everyone, and welcome to Victoria HarbourCats Baseball on Go Live Broadcasts and Shaw Spotlight. My name is Mike Edwards, along with producer Chris Jaycox in the broadcast truck. Just moments away from first pitch, here as the anthems are complete at Wilson's Group Stadium. The HarbourCats dropped Game 1 last night to the Raptors 4-3. It was a well-pitched ball game on both sides, and it was tied 1-1 until the 7th inning when Johnny Weaver stepped up and hit a 3-run blast over the left field fence to give Ridgefield a 4-1 lead. But the HarbourCats did rally in the 9th inning. They scored 2 runs on a double by Tanner Haney to cut it to 4-3 with the tying run in scoring position and nobody out. But Mark Lidd was able to lock down the save for Ridgefield and strand that run at second base to close out the win for the Raptors. So they begin the first half 1-0. HarbourCats are 0-1 to start the second half. And of course, Victoria does have the benefit of knowing that whatever happens in this second half of the schedule, they will be in the playoffs thanks to winning the first half North Division crown back on Sunday. So let's take a look at the game time weather here before first pitch in Victoria. Not the nicest of evenings to be at the ballpark. 18 degrees Celsius, 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Overcast skies and not much wind to speak of. But the story, of course, is the rain. It is raining just ever so slightly at the moment. So they are going to start this game as we take a look as well at the radar and show you what the forecast moving onwards into the evening is going to look like. There's a lot of rain coming, especially from the south. It usually does from Washington State with the wind patterns. Often it does come from down there up north of the border here through Victoria and, of course, the lower mainland as well. So the good news, I suppose, is that the rain that is on its way is supposedly not heavy rain. It's just kind of a light drizzle, if you will. So we'll hope that it remains that way, and we will keep you updated on the weather as we go along here tonight. We'll hope to avoid any delays or any stoppages due to the rain. Just to familiarize yourselves with the rules about what happens in a rain delay. If a game is reaching the fifth inning, if the HarbourCats have the lead because they're the home team in the bottom of the fourth, the game is an official game, or if the game is tied or Ridgefield has the lead, it has to be in the fifth inning for the game to become official. So if it did start raining heavily later in the ball game, after we reach that fifth inning, it would be an official game, and so if there was a delay that they felt was too long to wait out and they just wanted to call it, that would be an official game. If it's before the fifth inning, it would not be an official game. So if they were to call it, we would play from scratch here in the series finale tomorrow. We'd play a double header. So we're set for baseball here on this Tuesday night. Hope you're nice and dry watching on your television set or your computer, whatever device you're using on Shaw Spotlight and Go Live broadcasts. Glad to be with you for Game 2 of this series. And it's Dakota Hawkins getting the ball for the HarbourCats. He is standing at 6 feet, 195 pounds from Lower Columbia College. He is still yet to receive a decision on the season, 4.15 ERA in 3 appearances. This is his first start of the summer. He's allowed 5 hits and a walk in 4 1/3 innings of work. 2 balls and 1 strike here to Weaver. Right back up the middle. This will get through into center field for a leadoff base hit. So Weaver, I mentioned he hit that big home run yesterday, the 3-run shot that gave Ridgefield the lead in the 7th inning, and he is in the leadoff spot again here tonight for the Raptors, and he starts off the ball game with the base hit. So again, Hawkins making his first start of the summer, but his 4th appearance in total. Here is a look at the full lineup here tonight for Ridgefield, as Weaver stands at first. Jack Bauer's at the plate, batting in the 2 spot. And Bauer takes a strike on the outer half. It's 0-1. The DH, Brody Barnum, is batting 3rd. Grayson Sterling in right field bats in the cleanup spot. Michael Jorg, who had 3 hits in yesterday's game, he bats 5th. Dominic Enbody enters the game after the day off yesterday. He is behind the plate. Tyler Earn at 3rd base, bats 7th. Noah Taylor in left field is 8th, and Justin Boyd batting in the number 9 spot at 2nd base for Chris Cota and the Ridgefield Raptors. Peter Allegro gets the ball for Ridgefield tonight. We'll see him in the bottom of the 1st. 0-2. Hawkins is ahead on Bauer. There's a foul away, and it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Umpiring crew for tonight's ball game looks like this. Jaden Sabin is behind home plate calling balls and strikes. Nick Moore is at first, and Phil Bourgeois will be roaming around between 2nd and 3rd. No balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch is fouled away again. So a number of fouls in this at bat from Jack Bauer. Bauer again started yesterday's game and went 1 for 4 with a strikeout in the 2-hole. He did make a fantastic catch. Headlong dive in center field to take a hit away from Tyson Hayes. That was a great play in the game yesterday. Another 0-2 pitch and another foul. Hawkins that time with the fastball up at 89 on the radar gun.
Let's go.
Well, Hawkins only pitched out of the bullpen this past season at Lower Columbia College, made 10 appearances and threw 21 2/3 innings. Had a 4.57 ERA with 32 strikeouts in 21 2/3. So good strikeout numbers for Hawkins. Hawkins also a guy that the HarbourCats pitching coach Ian Sanderson knows well, given that Sanderson has the same role, pitching coach at Lower Columbia College.
Yeah, boy.
That one just misses in off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count. This has become a lengthy at bat as Jack Bauer continues to battle up there for Ridgefield. With the full cloud cover and the rain falling, the light rain falling. This one, that's a fair ball down the right field line as it heads toward the corner. Getting over to it, Nick Adams. Getting the stop sign now at third is Weaver. And there are 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out for the HarbourCats to deal with here in this top of the first inning. Ridgefield right off the bat looking to strike early in this ball game. And the hitter now for the Raptors will be the DH Brody Barnum.
Now batting the designated hitter number 37, Brody Barnum.
I was just saying before that double that it is a dark kind of evening, and we might see the lights come on pretty soon. One of the things that you'll notice watching at home is that from our center field camera that you see most of the time watching the balls and strikes, it looks like the rain's coming down a little harder than it actually is, just because the camera's all the way out in center field. There's a lot of distance between the camera and the plate, so you're looking through a lot of distance where rain is falling. But when you're actually looking from my vantage point here at the home plate area, there's not a lot of rain at the moment falling, just a light drizzle. That'll miss here for 1 ball and 1 strike to Brody Barnum. Barnum also played in yesterday's game as the DH, went 1 for 3 and struck out in his other 2 at-bats. One and 1 pitch is a wave and a miss. It's now 1-2. Clear strikeout situation here for Dakota Hawkins with those 2 runners in scoring position and nobody out. Still looking for the first out of the ball game. Bauer is at second, Weaver at first, and the 1-2 pitch from Hawkins to Barnum coming up.
Hey, boy.
Close with the big looping curveball that missed off the plate outside. Now it's 1-2. This one is lifted in the air out to deep left field. Left center field. It's going to be caught in center by Jason Willow. Tagging from third is Weaver. He's going to come in to score, and that is the opening run of the ball game. So a sac fly and an RBI for Brody Barnum as Johnny Weaver comes in after he reached via the single, then moved over to third on the double by Bauer. So the Raptors up to an early 1-0 lead, as they did yesterday as well. They got on the board first, led 1-0 before Tyson Hayes hit a solo shot over the left field fence to tie the game at 1. But as I mentioned, the Raptors came right back with a 3-run home run, take a 4-0 lead or 4-1 lead, and they would not give it up. They did have a bit of a nervy bottom of the 9th inning with the HarbourCats scoring 2 runs and then having the tying run at second with nobody out. But the HarbourCats could not get that tying run in. Still out there at second is Jack Bauer, now with 1 away in the top of the first. The pitch is swung on and missed. And it is 0-2.
Run up.
Now the HarbourCats did play through a little bit of rain as well on Sunday afternoon, the finale of the series with Bellingham, and the game that they ultimately won the West Coast League first half North Division crown. So the weather hasn't been the greatest these past couple days. Of course, as luck would have it, the HarbourCats, after tomorrow's series finale with Ridgefield, go on the road for a week and a half. And as luck would have it, the weather looks like it's going to be a lot better on the weekend than it is here for these games. But the HarbourCats, of course, being on the road, will not be able to enjoy the nice weather. HarbourCats have only had 2 rainouts in their history, and they've been in the West Coast League since 2013. This is their 7th season and only 2 rainouts, and they were both on the same weekend. That is strike 3 called. Grayson for out number 2, and a big punch out for Hawkins. Trying to limit the damage, just the 1 run, and he's almost there. Just 1 more out to get him through this first inning. But again, the HarbourCats have only had the 2 rainouts, and they were both on the same weekend a couple years back. So if you're not from the Pacific Northwest, you might not know what the kind of the climate is here around the calendar. We do get quite a bit of rain in the fall and the winter. Don't often get snow because of the Pacific Ocean effect, where the climate's a little warmer than the rest of Canada. But we do get a lot of rain in the winter and the fall, sometimes in the spring. But in the summer, it hardly ever rains here in Victoria. Very nice climate in the summer. That's something that I've talked to a couple of the players about, and they love it here because some of them even coming from warmer climates like California or Florida. I was talking to Frankie Neiman about that earlier today. It's almost too hot at times in Florida in the summer. The heat's just a little too much at points, but here it's very pleasant, just around kind of 65 to 75-ish, up to maybe 80 on a warm day if you're on the Fahrenheit scale. Looking at the Celsius scale, that's around 20 to 25. Sometimes it does get up towards 30. 1-2 pitch, rolled to second base. Tanner Haney scoops it up and flips it to first for the out. That will end the inning, so Ridgefield scores a run and they lead it 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the first.
I'll take that one.
It's time for the Baker Tilly staff of the game directed by Baker.
Going back, this is over his head and it's over the wall. Kevin Collard will touch them all. The HarbourCats who tied the game 1-1. Bonneau with a fly ball to right field, and this is going to go back and out of here. There's a drive to left field by Alcantara. This is up, and out! Grand slam for A.J. Alcantara. 6-0 for the HarbourCats. This is driven into center field. A base hit for Floyd.
We're back here for the home half of the first inning. HarbourCats coming up to hit, trailing 1-0 with the sacrifice fly off the bat of Brody Barnum in that top of the first. 0-1 the count now to Kyle Sherrick. He took a first pitch strike from Peter Allegro. the starter tonight for Ridgefield. Sherrick sends a high fly ball out to right field, drifting back on it and reaching up to make the catch. Michael Jorg in right, and there's one down. So Sherrick gave that one a little bit of a ride out to right field, but not quite far enough. Well, here's the lineup for the HarbourCats tonight. Jason Willow now digs in, the center fielder. Kyle Harper, the DH, is in the cleanup spot. Tyler Pettit, the catcher, bats 5th. Harrison Spahn at third base is 6th. Nick Adams in right field 8th. The shortstop Tanner Haney at second baseman rounds out the order in the 9 spot. And this one's lined to straightaway center field. It's going to get down for a hit. Jason Willow with a wide turnaround first. He's going to go back there. And Willow just able to drop that one into center in front of the center fielder, Jack Bauer. He hit that one hard, almost hit it too hard. As Bauer just about got there, and we know he has excellent range, as he showed off yesterday. Mentioned the diving catch he made. This time, though, no chance for him to lay out and make a play on that. Now, with the rain, you know, could be a good day for some outfielders to try to make some diving or sliding catches. Outfield's a little slick and a good surface to slide on. Willow stands over there now at first. This is Frankie Neiman taking one for 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Neiman with a .442 average, 1 home run, 20 RBIs for him. The 20 ribbies place him second in the West Coast League. When a no-pitch foul back to the screen, it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Had the chance to talk to Neiman today on the Catcast, the podcast that we do here for the HarbourCats. You can check that one out tomorrow. We'll be releasing it on the HarbourCats social media pages. Neiman from Tulane University in New Orleans. He's a native of Sanford, Florida, so he's a ways away from home here this summer. Growing up in Florida, going to school in Louisiana. This one could be 2. There is 1 at second. The throw to first is dropped at first, and Neiman's going to reach. So Willow is out at second, but the relay throw to first base was a little low, and it allowed Neiman to reach. So he stands there now at first with 2 gone. Well, the starter tonight, Peter Allegro for the Ridgefield Raptors. He's a native of Tacoma, Washington. Stands at 5'10", 190 pounds, and goes to the University of Portland. He is 1-2 with a 5.55 ERA on the West Coast League season. 25 hits, 10 walks allowed in 22 2/3 innings, along with 18 strikeouts. Also has 1 save. He's been used in a number of different roles for the Raptors so far. He has the 1 save. He's made 6 appearances in total, and 4 of those 6 were starts. He did not have a good time in his last start back on July 3rd down in Bend against the Elks. Took the loss, went 3 1/3, allowing 6 runs, 5 of them earned on 7 hits and 4 walks. Also did not strike out a batter in those 3 1/3, so Allegro trying to bounce back here in this start this evening. Neiman at first base, 0-2 pitch to Kyle Harper is swung on and fouled away, 0-2. Harper back in the lineup. Good to see him back in after he was just attending to a little bit of a nagging injury, but he's good enough to go here tonight. And before the injury, he was an important bat for the HarbourCats, coming in at .384, a couple homers and 5 RBIs and just 13 at-bats. So in those 13 at-bats, he was very productive with the 2 home runs and 5 runs driven in. This one is just foul down the third base line, and it's still 0-2. Harper, another Baylor Bear on this HarbourCats team. Of course, we know how successful that Chase Wesner has done, also from Baylor. Harper, college teammate of Wesner and a teammate as well for the summer here in Victoria. Still 0-2. Harper behind Peter Allegro. Takes a peek over his shoulder at Neiman at first base. Now the 0-2. Harper drives one deep down the left field line. This ball back near the wall. It is gone. Make it 3 home runs for Harper. in just 14 at-bats on the season. And the HarbourCats have taken the lead here in the bottom of the first inning. It's 2-1. Welcome back to the HarbourCats lineup, Kyle Harper. No better way to return from an injury than with a big fly. And Harper has given Victoria a 2-1 lead.
Now batting the catcher from Navy Word, number 28, Tyler Pettit.
So Neiman scores on that big fly. And now it's going to be the catcher, Tyler Pettit, from the University of the Incarnate Word. There's a big swing and a miss by Pettit. It is no balls and one strike. 2 away, bases clear now. HarbourCats with the 2 runs, Ridgefield with 1 in the top half of the first inning. So both teams getting on the board against these 2 starters, Allegro and Hawkins. We had a very well-pitched game yesterday on both sides. There's a swing and a foul back. Cade Smith threw very well for the HarbourCats, went 5 innings, allowed just 1 run on 4 hits and a walk with 4 strikeouts. And on the other side, Ethan Clough was also very good for the Raptors. Allowed just 2 hits in 5 innings, did walk 5 batters, but allowed 1 run, along with 5 strikeouts in his 5 innings of work. So both Smith and Clough took a no decision yesterday, despite their excellent work on the mound. Cameron Rapetti picked up the win in relief, and Mark Lidd picked up the save. For the HarbourCats, Regan McDonald took the loss. This one's hit hard on the ground but foul as he pulled it down the third base side. Tyler Pettit behind in the count, 1-2. Just as I say, in the last half inning, that it is a dark evening in Victoria. The floodlights come on in straightaway center field. This one's a little pop-up out to shallow right. It is going to be caught there by Justin Boyd, and that will retire the side. Kyle Harper goes deep with a 2-run blast. And the HarbourCats have a 2-1 lead as we go to the second on Shaw Spotlight and Go Live broadcasts.
Red, blue, or white, pick one and shirt on your marks, get set, go! A special welcome to some groups at the park with us, the Global Village Victoria Group, the BC Children's Hospital Foundation, folks enjoying the Wilson Transportation Upper Deck Experience, and the Rogers Media Group on the Strathcona third base party deck.
He's a chopper to third base. Charging it is Spawn. The bare hand throw. He got him. What a play. Harrison Spawn. This one hit right back up the middle. Could be 2. Spawn the dive, the flip to second, and that's a double play. Count is 1-0. And in Wally a drive. Deep left field, and it is gone. And the 1-2. Is hit hard, and it's caught by Pojui Wong on the mound. What a play. Lightning quick reflexes, and another 2-2. Breaking ball, strike 3 called. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And he swings away at the first pitch, shallow left center. This ball will be caught by Playa as he dives to make the catch. This one right back to the mound, going to second with it for 1, back to first, and that's a double play. Is driven high in the air, deep right field, Feist looking up, and it is gone. Now the 2-2 is hit in the air to pretty deep left field. Going back is Johnston, he leaps at the wall, and it's gone. We are back here for the top of the second inning, 2-1. HarbourCats lead the Ridgefield Raptors on Shaw Spotlight and Go Live broadcast. The middle game of this 3-game midweek set between Victoria and Ridgefield. This is the first ever matchup between these two. Ridgefield entering the West Coast League here in 2019. So yesterday was the first matchup. This is the series, the first visit to Victoria for Ridgefield. The HarbourCats also will go down to Ridgefield and visit them later in the year. 2 balls and no strikes here on Dominic Enbody, the catcher. He sends a fly ball out to left center field, hustling over to it to make the catch for the HarbourCats, Kyle Sherritt. And that is 1 out for Dakota Hawkins. Better start here to the second inning. He did limit the damage in the first to just the 1 run, so he did a nice job for Victoria. And now after that Kyle Harper 2-run home run, lead here in this second. Well, a fair amount of umbrellas around the park as you look around the left and right field lines. Also, a lot of people in the seats here right behind home plate with the overhang. Protects fans from the rain, but as I said, it does rain a lot in the fall and winter months in Victoria, so people here are generally pretty used to it. Not something that East Coast will be phased by. This one is going to be softly hit out to shallow left center field. It's going to be tracked down. Nice play by Mydroff, hustling back there. He was the only one who could get to that ball as well. And Mydroff got to it to make the catch. There's 2 down.
Go get your last, gotta get 0.
Now batting.
Now, one thing that's interesting when it's raining, even if it's not raining hard, and it isn't raining hard enough for them to consider suspending this one or a rain delay, at least not yet, just a light rain. But sometimes you do wonder who that favors, whether it's the hitters or the pitcher. And I think depending on who you ask, that you might get a different answer. When one pitch is going to miss up high, 1 ball and 1 strike. So I think if you ask the pitchers, they'd say, well, the ball's wet, maybe my grip isn't quite as good. Obviously, it's important to keep the balls as dry as you can before the pitchers get them in their gloves and in their hands.
Teamwork.
It's also important to keep your throwing hand as dry as you can so that you can not lose grip of the ball. But, of course, with the seams, it's not that difficult unless it's really wet to get a good grip. And on the hitter's side, a lot of the hitters, I think, would tell you, well, a rainy day favors the pitcher because the ball's not going to fly as much in a wet night. So, although Kyle Harper did hit 1 out in the first inning, so maybe that was not quite consistent with that logic, but typically the ball does not travel as far on a wet, colder night as opposed to a sunny, warm evening. So in that respect, it does favor the pitcher. Here's now the 3-2. This one slapped down the left field line. It's foul off the bat of Noah Taylor, the left fielder. He comes in just 1 for 21 on the West Coast League season with 3 RBIs, so he's made the most of that 1 hit, but trying to get out of that early season slump. Another one fouled away down the third base side. It remains 3-2. Count is still full on Noah Taylor, and the 3-2 pitch is hit right to third base, and it is caught by Harrison Spahn to retire the side. 1-2-3 inning for Dakota Hawkins, and the HarbourCats lead it 2-1 as we go at Go Live Broadcasts.
All right, fans, I'm up here at the top of the grandstand with Jenny. We're going to play the BC Transit bus driver shuffle. We're gonna have a bus pull up. Guys, get on the bus. You have to follow him a bus.
And those are nice ones.
There you go.
There's the bus.
Go get my crate.
Watch for her.
I like use my backup. Don't clear it.
Jenny is bus number 1 on the far left. Here comes the big reveal. Jenny, everyone seems to agree with that. All right, congratulations. We've got some transit tickets here for you. Distribute amongst your friends. All right, thanks for playing.
I mean, if it's like little.
Congratulations, Tim Dirksen. You want to get a certificate to Brady's Fish and Chips. Head to the info booth and claim your prize. Leading off for your HarbourCats, the third baseman from Cal Baptist, number 6, Harrison Spahn.
Back here in Victoria for the bottom of the second inning. Thank you for sending in your tweets, showing a couple of them in the inning break, and we'll show some more of them as the game goes along, and a couple more inning breaks as well, so keep getting those tweets in using the hashtag HarbourCats. Your tweet could be featured on Go Live Broadcast and Shaw Spotlight. Here is Harrison Spahn for Victoria, taking a swing at that first offering from Peter Allegro of this inning and fouling it away, 0-1 the count. That one missed for 1 ball and 1 strike. There was a little pause as well in the delivery that time from Allegro, just varying his time to the plate a little bit. Try to throw Spahn out of his rhythm. That one misses down and away. It's now 2-1. Spahn enters play at 2:31 for the HarbourCats. Hit his second home run of the season and drove in his 10th run of the season in the game against Bellingham on Sunday. It was a big home run. That is a fair ball at deep third. The throw from Ernie is in time. Nice play. And that throw had to be right on the money, and it also had to have some good zip on it to get the speedy Harrison Spahn.
The right fielder from Yavapai Junior College.
So Spahn is retired for 1 out, and Nick Adams will step in now. Now the 0-0 pitch to Adams from Allegro, and he takes strike 1. Chase Mydroth will be next for the HarbourCats here in this bottom of the second inning. 2 hits apiece, HarbourCats with the 2 runs. This one's stroked weakly out to right field. It'll drop for a base hit. Little soft liner that got down over the head of Justin Boyd at second, and Nick Adams has himself a base hit. Adams entering today's ball game at 224 with 2 homers and 9 RBIs, so that'll raise the average a little bit, that base knock. And now it's going to be Chase Mydroth, who is an incoming freshman at the University of San Diego. He's hitting .308, 2 runs scored and a run driven in. Just the 13 at-bats for him on the season. Adams running for second. The throw down is going to be late, and he has a stolen base. So that takes the double play out of the equation.
That stolen base brought to you by Freedom.
Quick chance for us to look at the defense here for Ridgefield this evening. Left to right in the outfield, it is Noah Taylor, Jack Bauer, and Michael Jorg. At third base, Tyler Earn, Johnny Weaver at short, Justin Boyd at second, Grayson Sterling at first, and Dominic Enbody behind the plate for the Raptors. I'd say about half of the lineup card for Chris Cota that was used in yesterday's game back in here for game 2, but there also is the other half that's making their series debut for the Raptors. HarbourCats also making a handful of changes tonight. 1-1 pitch to Mydroth is going to miss for 2 balls and a strike. Well, Allegro's been filling up the strike zone early. The next pitch he throws will be his 25th of the ball game through an inning and a third, and he's thrown 18 strikes and just 6 balls. This one is chopped on the ground again to deep third. Another chance for Earn, and the throw on the money to first again to get the out. That is out number 2. On the back end of that play, Adams goes to third. So good base running by Nick Adams, but another accurate throw from third base by Tyler Earn.
From the University of Texas.
And that's 2 of them in this inning that both needed to be right on the money. So this now is Tanner Haney for the HarbourCats. And Haney, I mentioned, had that base hit in the 9th inning that wound up scoring 2 runs. I think officially, just to double checking with the box score yesterday, officially it was ruled just 1 RBI for Haney because it was a single that was misplayed in right field that then allowed the trail run to score. But certainly either way, the first run was going to score, so Haney gets credit for that RBI. This one is back to third base. Earn's throw in time at first, and that will keep the HarbourCats off the board in inning number 2. On we go to the top of the third. HarbourCats lead it 2-1.
To get himself a little bit of exercise. Today we've got William taking on Harvey, and longest race of the year.
And to build a new public safety building using provincial gaming revenue from hosting Elements Casino Victoria. The new building has larger sleeping quarters, so volunteer firefighters can be on call, on site, and respond to emergencies even faster. The building isn't only home to the town's fire department, though. It also has space for public safety staff and a secondary emergency operations center, too. BCLC, we're community-minded, with your community in mind.
On we go to the top of inning number 3. HarbourCats with the 2-1 lead over the Ridgefield Raptors thanks to Kyle Harper's 2-run blast back in the first. This is Justin Boyd taking a first pitch strike. Good breaking ball from Dakota Hawkins. 9-1-2 in the order for Ridgefield here in this third inning, with Boyd, then Weaver, and Bauer to hit for the Raptors. Boyd goes after one and fouls it away down the right field line. 0-2 the count. Hawkins ahead here of Boyd. No balls, 2 strikes. Another breaking ball. This one is fouled away down the third base side. Well, as we expected, a bit of a thinner crowd with the weather here for Game 2 tonight. But the overhang right behind home plate is busy, as you'd expect. A lot of fans trying to squeeze into the overhead, or the overhang, I should say, the covered area. 1-2 now the count on Boyd. That'll miss down low. It's now 2-2. Can also see just a little bit out there from my vantage point that the rain is maybe intensifying a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on that. One good thing about this field in Victoria is that it's in very good condition and it's very well kept. This one popped up down the right field line into foul ground. It's going to be Frankie Neiman. He couldn't quite get there, and it gets down for a foul ball. 2-2 the count on Justin Boyd. Now again, the grounds crew does do a very good job with the field here at Wilson's Group Stadium, which, if we're being honest, cannot be said about every other park in the West Coast League. There are certainly some excellent fields in this league, but there are also some that are clearly lacking in that department. So we're fortunate that the HarbourCats are at home for this rainy day, and we'll see if the field starts to show any signs of maybe being dangerous to play on, but we'll hope that's not the case. This one is rolled through into the left field. It'll be a base hit for Justin Boyd to start off the top of the third.
Hey, roll it up now.
So there was a long run for Frankie Neiman there from first base, and a ball he just couldn't quite get to. And that allowed Boyd to stay in this at-bat, and he was able to single through the hole between third and short. So Johnny Weaver steps in. He's already beaten Dakota Hawkins once with a single to lead off the ball game in the top of the first, and then came around to score a run on the Brody Barnum sac fly. This one is a rocket foul over the Strathcona Hotel rooftop party deck just behind third base. 0-1 now the count to Johnny Weaver.
I mean, that was a really good example of why. I mean, I'm sure you can be up there and have a really good time, but you can comfortable.
Mentioned Weaver had the 3-run home run yesterday, but he was just 1 for 5. Of course, that one hit, though, was the big hit in the ball game, so certainly the Raptors will take it. He comes into today's ball game at .254. Now 3 homers on the season and up to 14 runs driven in. Swinging a foul away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now Weaver is also the co-team leader in stolen bases on the season for the Raptors, so he's done a nice job in the leadoff spot, and 14 RBIs for your leadoff man is a pretty good number. In total, he's had 110 at-bats. Throw goes down to second base, and they got him. Great throw from Tyler Pettit to get Justin Boyd trying to swipe second, and that leadoff single is wiped off the board. So a great throw by Pettit. Good tag as well applied by Tanner Haney. Count now 2-2 on Weaver, and the pitch is a wave and a miss. He got him. So it's stolen base, or a caught stealing, I should say, and then on the very next pitch, a strikeout. And just like that, Dakota Hawkins is to 2 outs here in the top of the third, with the bases empty and no real momentum on the Raptors side. Now the 0-0 pitch is a swing and a miss, bit of a half-hearted hack there by Jack Bauer. No balls in 1 strike. Hawkins working quickly out there in a good rhythm. The 0-1 pitch is up and in at 88 on the fastball. It's now 1-1. Well, quickly we'll just go over the HarbourCats defense, as we have not yet done so when they've been in the field. Sherrick, Willow, and Adams left to right in the outfield. Spawn and Mydroth on the left side of the infield. Haney and Neiman on the right side, and Pettit behind the plate, who showed off the arm on that good throw down to second base to nab Justin Boyd trying to steal second. Last pitch was chopped foul down the right side by Jack Bauer, and it's now a ball and 2 strikes. Here now the 1-2. And a swing and a miss. Second strikeout in the inning for Dakota Hawkins, and he retires the side in order here in the third. HarbourCats continue to lead it 2-1 on Shaw Spotlight and Go Live broadcasts.
All right, fans, it is time for the Booster Juice Frisbee toss. We got a few Frisbees and a few free Booster Juice capsules.
When I won Rock the First ticket at Northeast Westwood last year, I created one that I checked every game like the last 5 games of the season.
All right, fans, we're going to play the waiting game. What's your name, sir? Alec? Do you know how the waiting game works? All right. I can give you a prize right now. You don't even have to do a single thing. Or you can wait till the end of the 7th inning. If the HarbourCats are winning at the end of the 7th, you get a bigger, better prize. Oh, yeah? Yeah, you want to wait, don't you? Because you believe in the HarbourCats. You have faith in the HarbourCats on faith night, don't you? See what I did there? See what I did there? Exactly. All right, so Alec, we will be back at the end of the 7th with your bigger, better prize.
$400 a game.
Thank you.
But I'm not complaining.
Leading off for the HarbourCats from Seattle University, number 54, Kyle Sherrick.
Thanks for reading your tweets in, showing a couple more on the broadcast here. Shaw Spotlight, Go Live broadcast. My name is Mike Edwards, along with Chris Jaycox, the producer in the truck. We're glad to have you with us on a rainy Tuesday night. HarbourCats with the 2-1 lead. Here as we play the bottom of the third. Peter Allegro back to work. This one is rolled to second base off the bat of Kyle Sherrick. The short throw from Boyd at second is in plenty of time to get Sherrick for the first out. Well, speaking of Go Live broadcasts and Shaw Spotlight, this is another one of the games that we're happy to have on Shaw. We have all 3 games of this series actually on Shaw Spotlight. Yesterday's game, here today and tomorrow, the series finale. Part of 17 games on the season that we're showing on Shaw. The remainder of the HarbourCats home games are all of them. The home games on the schedule are on Go Live broadcast. You can watch them for $6.99 a game. And we also know that the HarbourCats are going to be playing some playoff games, and they'll have at least one at home. So you can watch that one as well on Go Live broadcast in mid-August. Looking forward to being in the playoffs. HarbourCats have some big aspirations for the playoffs here in 2019. There is a strike. Jason Willow is behind now 1-2. And that is strike 3 called. Willow, he knew it as well. I think he was looking for something else, but instead he got fastball. And he takes for strike 3, the second out of the inning. Well, speaking of Go Live broadcasts, we have to thank Molly's Fish and Chips, providing the craft services for Go Live broadcast all season long. Molly's the food truck here at Wilson's Group Stadium, one of a number of very good food trucks. Our crew is never hungry, that's for sure, with Molly's around. One ball and no strikes. Frankie Neiman, the hitter, bases clear and 2 away. That one came close to hitting him actually inside, but Neiman just got the hands out of the way. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Well, I mentioned in the last half inning that the rain had intensified a bit, but I think it might have just slowed down a little here in this bottom of the third as Neiman chops one foul, now 2-1. It's hard for me to tell from my vantage point here in the broadcast booth, but when I look around, it's not quite as misty. And it is going to be kind of off and on all night. There's not a lot of heavy rain coming. When you look at the radar map that we showed you in the start of the ball game, not a lot of heavy rain, but there is kind of constant rain, and it'll vary in intensity throughout the ball game. 3 balls and 1 strike now to Neiman. He is in a good hitter's count. Now the 3-1 pitch. Neiman sends a high fly ball down the right field line. This one is going to get foul as it lands just short of the fence in the bullpen area of the HarbourCats. Almost had home run distance on it, but it was well fouled. Not close to keeping that one fair. So it's now a full count, 3-2 to Neiman. Bases empty, 2 out, bottom of the third. We thought we might have more of an offensive game here tonight after both teams scored in the first inning, but that's all the runs we've got now through into the bottom of the third. 2-1, Victoria the lead. Sac fly by Brody Barnum to get the Raptors on the board in the top of the first, and then Kyle Harper a 2-run home run. There's a swing and a miss by Neiman, and that will end the inning as Allegro gets him on strikes. We go to the top of the 4th inning. HarbourCats lead by a run on Shaw Spotlight and Go Live broadcasts.
To win a Mexican dinner for 10 by throwing a ball through the hole in La Tortilla Mexicana restaurant sign. Today we have Marcus. Whenever you are ready, Marcus, 2 shots. Piece of cake, piece of tortilla. Just a bit outside. Just a bit more outside. All right, Marcus. Restaurant La Tortilla Mexicana with Mama's Authentic Recipes, located just blocks down the road at 1205 Water Street. The Victoria HarbourCats and Go Live broadcast are keeping up to provide live stream broadcasting of every home game throughout the 2019 season. If you can't make it to the park, go to our team website to access the Go Live broadcast or tune in to select games on Shaw TV. Keep up with all the action. Leading off for the Ridgefield Raptors, designated hitter number 37, Brody Barnum.
Middle innings here at Wilson's Group Stadium, and it's led off the top of the 4th by Brody Barnum, who is responsible for the lone run driven in here on the Ridgefield side of the scoreboard. Back in the top of the 1st, sac fly for him scored Johnny Weaver to get the Raptors out to an early 1-0 lead. There's a fastball in for a strike from Dakota Hawkins at 86. 1-1 the count. It'll be 3-4-5 in the order for Ridgefield with Barnum, Sterling, and then Jorg. There's a slow roller foul. And it's now 1-2. Now we'll see how long Hawkins goes in this game. I mentioned that he appeared in 10 games on the college season for Lower Columbia College, all of them out of the bullpen, and he's just appeared in 3 games this summer for the HarbourCats. And again, all 3 were out of the bullpen, so this is his first start in a while. He's approaching the 60 pitch mark. He's at 58 at the moment, and he's looked very good through the first 3. 2-2 pitch is chopped to third base. Tracking it down, Harrison Spahn. The long throw is there at first, and that's out number 1. Was just a little low. Frankie Neiman had to scoop it right off the top of the infield dirt, but it was in time. So there's 1 away here to start the top of the 4th inning, and Dakota Hawkins has really settled in nicely to this ball game. Now through 4 1/3, make that 3 1/3. He's allowed 3 hits, no walks, just the 1 earned run and 3 strikeouts. And this one is hit to second base. There's Tanner Haney fielding it, and the throw to first again in time for the second out. So a couple of quick ground outs for Dakota Hawkins here to start the 4th inning. Now he's through 3 2/3. Now also for Hawkins, 2 of the 3 hits that he's given up in the ball game were in that first inning. So ever since that first, when he got into a little trouble, but then he dialed in and got out of trouble with just the 1 run coming across to score. Despite having runners at first, second and third, I should say, with nobody out, just allowed the 1 run to score, and he's been very good since then. There's a fastball touching 88 that missed down low below the knees. It's 1 ball and 1 strike on Michael York. Another wave and a miss. That one a bit of a confused swing by York. I think he might have been looking for something else. Hawkins ahead of him, 1-2. Looking for a 1-2-3, top of the 4th. Right back to the mound. Hawkins is going to flip it underhand to Neiman, and that'll be all for Ridgefield in the 4th inning. Very nicely done by Dakota Hawkins. Another inning where he retires the Raptors in order, and we go now to the bottom of inning number 4. HarbourCats continue to lead at 2-1.
They are going to wheel those tires out around Harvey and back to the third baseline. On your mark, get set, go.
We were getting married in the most beautiful rural setting. My mom got sick and couldn't be with us for our big day. I was heartbroken. Thankfully, we discovered ExploreNet. They responded right away and connected us to high-speed internet. Our big day was incredible because it felt like Mom was there.
ExploreNet. Connect to what matters.
This is so good.
Let me show you why. Our growers, they select the beans, not as easy as it seems. This one's perfect, that one too. So many great beans to brew. Premium Arabica. Ship them off to Canada. Arrive at our roastery. Sorting, roasting every bean. Taste test each cup. Coffee masters give thumbs up. Handcraft fresh brew. Spreading joy is what we do. From bean to cup, that is how we brew it up.
Cool. How you making donuts?
Leading off for your Harbor. Hitter from Baylor, number 51, Kyle Harper.
Now I can slap without spraying ketchup all over the place.
Kyle Harper steps in to begin the bottom of inning number 4. It was his swing of the bat that is responsible for putting the HarbourCats in the lead here 2-1. The 2-run shot back in the first inning. Harper's 3rd home run. And there's another big swing. This time, though, he came up empty on the 87-mile-per-hour fastball from Peter Allegro. No balls and 1 strike. So Harper 1 for 1 with that 2-run shot. And again, despite the fact that he was hurt and didn't play a lot before he got hurt, he has been absolutely stellar for the HarbourCats when he has been in the lineup. Now up to 7 RBIs and 3 homers in just 14 at-bats to begin things. He's also 6 for 14. Harper was a late arrival as well for the HarbourCats. He did not come to Victoria right at the start of the season. He was one of the players, which the HarbourCats actually had a handful of guys who, and every West Coast League team does, who are not able to come right away. He sends a jolt into this one to deep center field. This one, though, is going to be run down in center. And Jack Bauer makes the catch. There's one away. Harper is retired.
Now batting, the catcher from Incarnate for number 28.
So Tyler Pettit now will step in. He is 0 for 1. Pettit comes into this series. He's been very good at the plate with the average up over 333. First pitch to Pettit misses in the dirt, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Three hits apiece in the hit column for the HarbourCats and the Raptors, but the home run ball proving to be the difference for Victoria with a narrow 2-1 lead as we play now in the middle innings. Pettit flies one down the right field line, but it'll go foul. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. Check that, Pettit coming into this game at 343, not 333, and he has 5 RBIs on the season. He's also played very well behind the plate, showed off the arm as well earlier in this game when he threw out Justin Boyd trying to steal second base. 1-1 pitch is down low. It's now 2 balls and 1 strike. Certainly is a real strength for the HarbourCats here in 2019, and they have depth all across the diamond. A lot of options for Todd Haney to turn to, but especially so behind the plate. They have a number of very good catchers. Pettit's one of them. Frankie Neiman's one of them. He is starting at first base here today, and Kyle Harper is another one starting in the DH spot. There's a wave and a miss by Pettit as he goes down on strikes for the second out.
Hi, Harry.
So that will bring in Harrison Spahn, number 6 hitter, and also wearing the number 6 from Cal Baptist. Spahn playing third base here this evening. Also seen him a lot at short. First pitch to Spahn is driven in the air out to deep left field, drifting back on it to the warning track and reining it in. Noah Taylor. Spahn just got not quite enough on that one, and that will end the inning. So the HarbourCats are down in order here in the 4th, and on we go to inning number 5. We will show you here in the inning break the highlights from yesterday's ball game, a narrow 4-3 win for the Raptors over the HarbourCats. This one is hit on the ground to shortstop. Maidroth backhands it. The throw is dug out at first by Rempel. And that is out number 1 in the ball game. 1 ball and 1 strike to Wyatt Hoffman. This one is hit well in the air to center field. Drifting underneath it, making the catch is Turner. He comes up throwing, and the throw's a little up the line. That'll allow a run to score. And it's 1-0 Ridgefield here in the 2nd inning. Now in swing mode with a couple fouls in a row to try to chase one. Another 2-2 pitch is a wave and a miss. He got him with the slider. And that ends the inning. Nice job by Cade Smith, another scoreless frame. He's just allowed the 1 run through 3 innings. HarbourCats trying to get on the board when we go to the bottom of the 3rd. In plenty of time, but he could not secure it. This one is flown in the air up to deep left center field. Back to the wall goes Sterling, and it's gone. Tyson Hayes with a solo shot ties the game at 1-1, and here come the Sox. One and 1 pitch is driven deep in the air left field. Racing back on it is Schindel, and he's going to watch it sail over the fence for a 3-run home run. On we go to inning number 5. The rain continues to fall here on this Tuesday night on Shaw Spotlight and Go Live broadcasts. Seems to have picked up again, so after maybe a little break in the intensity of the rain, it looks like it's raining a bit harder once again, but the umpires don't seem too concerned about it. They're just back out in their normal spots, on the diamond for this 5th inning, and the players, they're just getting on with it as well. So keep on going through what's now the 5th inning. So with the HarbourCats holding the lead, that's significant because if it were to start raining really hard and the field became unplayable and they had to stop it, and especially with the forecast showing that it's supposed to rain really all overnight, so there isn't really any sign of it breaking up later. So it's a matter of whether they can play through the rain and how long they can play through the rain. But again, it's significant now that we're in the top of the 5th, because once we get through this top of the 5th inning, if the HarbourCats are in the lead, that means that it becomes an official game. So if it were to start raining too hard to continue it, and the HarbourCats were leading 2-1 in the bottom of the 5th, it would be an official game, and the HarbourCats would be credited with the win. This one is flown out to left field, and it's caught by Sherrick for out number 1.
Now batting the third baseman, number 5, Tyler.
Now if the Raptors were to take the lead here in this inning, we would need to go through the bottom of the 5th and into the 6th inning for it to be an official game.
Stay off for 1 second.
This one is sliced down the right field line, long run, and a nice no. That's a fair ball. It looked like it was going to be a nice catch by Nick Adams, but it just tipped off, I think, the heel of his glove. And instead, it's going to be a double for Dominic Enbody. Check that, it's Tyler Earn, my mistake, who just doubled a moment ago, the third baseman, and Noah Taylor now is the hitter, the left fielder. So Ridgefield, again, with the rain, and you don't know what it's going to bring the rest of this ball game. Ridgefield really trying to get back on level terms here at the very least to a 2-2 ball game, as opposed to falling behind. You don't want to be behind with the risk of the game being canceled, but in a spot where it officially counts. Nothing in 1 count here on Noah Taylor. Taylor with a swing and a foul back. It is now 0-2. Dakota Hawkins still looks strong out there for the HarbourCats. Through now 4 1/3. He's ahead 0-2 on Taylor, trying to keep that 1-out double stationary at second base. 0-2 pitch is a swing and a miss. Got the fastball at 90. And he blew it by Noah Taylor for out number 2. There's a right-hander now warming in the bullpen for the HarbourCats. Also, looks like there's a right-hander loosening up for Ridgefield. So 2 away now in the top of inning number 5. Runner at second base is Tyler Earn for Ridgefield. Here now is Justin Boyd. Boyd goes after the first pitch. Pop up towards foul ground, and this will get back onto the concourse.
This foul ball is brought to you by Spain Auto Service Victoria.
So Hawkins once again ahead. He's been doing a nice job throwing a lot of strikes. Next pitch he throws, by the way, will be his 75th of the ball game. He's thrown 51 strikes, 23 balls. So he is really approaching that 75 to 80 pitch number that Todd Haney likes to use for his starters as a soft cap, if you will. Of course, it also depends on the stress of the pitches. It's not just about the number of pitches. There's a strike, 0-2. Now the count on Boyd. And so for Hawkins, he has not had very many stressful pitches because he's been working through this Ridgefield lineup with relative ease to this point, aside from the 1 run that scored in the first. No balls, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Blew the fastball by him at 90 on the radar gun. And Dakota Hawkins is through 5 innings of 1-run ball. He strands a runner at second, and the HarbourCats still lead 2-1.
Time to play a little Virgin Radio heads or tails. I need everybody to stand up. Come on, if I'm going to stand out here in the rain, the least you guys can do is stand up. Heads or tails, very simply, put your hand on your head or your tail. If it's the same as the coin, you stay standing. If not, you sit down. Okay, here we go. It is tails. If your hand is on your head, sit down. It is tails again. If your hand is on your head, sit down. Can I do it 3 times in a row? Yes, I can. It is tails. Heads. If your hand is on your tail, sit down. Tails. If your hand is on your head, sit down. Heads, if your hand is on your tail, sit down. Tails, if your hand is on your head, sit down. You got anybody? Have I got anybody? Nope. I think this might be my last guy then. Did you have somebody on the last round? Leading off for your HarbourCats from Yavapai Junior College, your right fielder, number 9, Nick Adams.
On we go to the home half of inning number 5. Nick Adams steps in for the HarbourCats. There's a strike to Adams, and it's 0-1. Well, again, just to go over the rain scenario, it is now an official game with the HarbourCats leading in the bottom of the 5th. 0-1 pitch to Adams is a swing and a foul tip. 0-2 now. It is raining fairly hard, but not hard enough for the umpires to consider a delay as of yet. The field, again, is in good condition here at Wilson's Group Stadium, and looking around the infield, I don't see any puddles or any spots where the rain is puddling or gathering in one location, so that's good news. There's a little soft roller down the first base line, 0-2. 2 runs on 3 hits and 1 error on the Victoria side. A run on 3 hits and no errors to this point for the Ridgefield Raptors. That one shot foul over towards the dugout of the Raptors. It's still 0-2. Oh, and 2 pitch is cut on and missed, and the out is completed as that one was held onto in the dirt by the catcher Dominic Enbody, so no need to throw it to first. So here now Chase Mydroth for the HarbourCats. He is 0 for 1. Mydroth got the start in short in yesterday's game, and he went 2 for 4 with a run scored. Mydroth reaches out and fouls one high down the right field line. This will get back into the seats for a foul ball. So no balls and a strike. Now the HarbourCats coming into this game at 18-10 overall in the season. They won the first half North Division crown at 18-9, but lost their first game of the second half, so they're 0-1 in the second half portion of the standings. Ridgefield won last night, so they're 1-0, and that win also overall got them back to an even 14-14 on the season. Again, Ridgefield is an expansion team here in 2019 in the West Coast League, so overall a 500 start to the season through their first 28 games is pretty good, I would say, for the Raptors. You compare that to where the HarbourCats were, as we just saw. There, it looked like Mydroth had to duck out of the way of a high curveball that was running inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Chase Mydroth. 1 out, bases clear. Mydroth with another foul. It's now 2-2. But back to Ridgefield and their inaugural season in the West Coast League. You compare that to what the HarbourCats were in 2013 when the HarbourCats were in their inaugural season in the West Coast League. HarbourCats were only 22-32 that year, and then the next year in 2014, their second in the WCL, they were 25-29, so still 4 games below 500. Now Portland, who was an expansion team last year, the Portland Pickles, they made the playoffs in their very first year, which is a very impressive accomplishment. Ridgefield looking to do the same by qualifying in the second half. Mydroth checked his swing, so that's ball 4. He takes a 1-out walk. Close play. some question as to whether he checked his swing or went around. But Chase Mydroth trots down to first base with the walk, and that'll bring in Tanner Haney. Now, I mentioned the HarbourCats and the Raptors, and sometimes it does take a few years to build a good roster. And the reason for that is because it does take time to develop solid recruiting relationships with good college programs. And the most important thing, of course, between a West Coast League team and a college program is trust, and the fact that college coaches will trust sending you their players. There's a throw down. The tag is applied. A swipe tag down. I think got it on the shoe or the leg of Chase Mydroth. Very nice tag applied by Justin Boyd at second base. So Mydroth is going to be out at second, and there's now 2 away. Pitch missed to Haney for, no, it was a strike to Haney. 0-1 the count. And 1 count is swung on and missed. It's now 0-2. But again, it does take a couple of years to build that trust and the good working relationships with colleges to be able to recruit high caliber players from good college programs. Haney takes one down low. 1-2 now the count. HarbourCats, for example, have been able to establish a very good recruiting relationship with Baylor. Of course, an excellent program in the Big 12. Chase Mydroth, Kyle Harper here this year. Look at some of the other good players from Baylor in years past, such as Tucker Johnson, a guy who comes to mind a couple years ago. Really, there are a number of schools where the HarbourCats always seem to have a good number of players from each season. As Haney strikes out, that'll be it for the bottom of the 5th inning. So on we go to the 6th. HarbourCats still lead it by a run. 2-1 they lead.
That's right. Watch the big screen. If you are on the big screen, you better pucker up.
Oh, I love one.
And a big round of applause for our Canadian Tire grounds crew scraping the field.
Okay.
Is that off of your camera?
That was very enthusiastic. Oh, maybe. It's been pretty sweet so far tonight. 4 for 4. Excellent. Look at that. That is our first time ever we've had everybody on the camera kiss. Give yourselves a big round of applause. I only have a prize for one of you, though.
There you go. Thank you. Oh, so nice.
You know, once I'm almost like I should go downtown.
Leading off for the Raptors, shortstop number 7, Johnny Weaver.
Yeah, sorry. My fault.
I am fine right now.
Quick moving ball game here in Victoria on a rainy Tuesday night, and probably a good thing that it is a quick moving game considering the fact that it is expected to keep raining. And in fact, by the looks of it, it might even get worse overnight and the later we go. So HarbourCats with a 2-1 lead over the Ridgefield Raptors, and they continue to lead at 2-1 after all 3 of the runs in this game were scored in the first. Nothing since then, as we're now in the 6th. We also have a new pitcher on for the HarbourCats. It's Hunter Hennig from Alameda, California. coming to Victoria from Pomona Pitzer.
Really started back in the 7th
Swinging a foul tip off of the catcher, Tyler Pettit. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hennig stands at 5'10", 190 pounds from Pomona Pitzer. He is yet to receive a decision in 7 appearances and 2 starts on the summer. 1.86 ERA. Hennig has been excellent with 11 hits and 6 walks allowed and 19 in the 3rd innings of work, along with 16 strikeouts.
Yeah, I don't know if I can't tell the difference. Are they laughing with me or at me?
1 ball and 2 strikes. And here's the pitch from Hennig. Weak ground ball foul. Now it stays at 1-2. Now, just at the tail end of that last inning, I was talking about some of the relationships that the HarbourCats have with college programs, and there are a lot of them, and that sometimes it takes a couple years to develop those relationships and get a high-caliber players coming to your summer collegiate team, like the Raptors are trying to develop over these next few years. And that, of course, will lead to Ridgefield, you would think, getting progressively better and better as they get more working relationships with different colleges. That one taken on a short hop by Mydroth, and the throw got him at first. Mydroth made that look very easy, but it was not an easy play. That was a bullet, and it took a hop off the infield dirt just a couple of feet in front of him. But he was able to judge it well and take it off that short hop, and then he had plenty of time to toss it over to first base. But one of those relationships that the HarbourCats have is with Pomona Pitzer, and a big part of a relationship that a summer collegiate team has with a college is due to the success of previous players. And that was certainly the case for the HarbourCats and Pomona Pitzer, because last year, Tyler Yoshihara came from Pomona Pitzer to the HarbourCats as Jack Bauer rolls this one to second base, and Tanner Haney throws him out. So there's quickly 2 away. Nice start to the inning for Hennig. But Yoshihara came to the HarbourCats from the Pomona Pitzer Sage Hens. Not much was expected of him. There was not a lot really known about Tyler Yoshihara, but all he did was come in and become the HarbourCats co-pitcher of the year. And he worked his way into bigger and bigger late inning roles as a relief pitcher, and eventually became the HarbourCats' primary closer. Really got better as the summer went along and turned a lot of heads here in Victoria. And so Yoshihara is a guy who came with, again, not a lot of expectations from Pomona Pitzer, and showed very well for himself, but he also showed very well for his college. And so, what do you know, the HarbourCats with 2 more relief pitchers from Pomona Pitzer that they've recruited to their roster this year, Luca Green and Hunter Hennig, who stands on the mound at the moment. 2-0 pitch, missing down low for 3 balls and no strikes on Brody Barnum, the DH. And it has worked well again for the HarbourCats here this summer, with Hunter Hennig throwing very well. As I mentioned, the stats for him just at the start of this inning. So I think the HarbourCats have a good thing going in terms of arms and the Pomona Pitzer Sage Hens. So we'll see if perhaps in future years and next year keep that connection going. This one is skied out in the air to left field, drifting underneath it. Now coming in a couple steps, and to make the catch, Kyle Sherrick puts it away to retire the side. 1-2-3 inning for Hunter Hennig, and we go to the bottom half of inning number 6. HarbourCats still lead by a run.
All right, fans, we would like to give a big Victoria welcome to the Bowers, who are here on their anniversary from Portland, Oregon. Their son Jack is center fielder for the Ridgefield Raptors. Happy anniversary, Mr. and Mrs. Bauer. And welcome to Victoria.
Angel
Top of the order due up for the HarbourCats here in the bottom of inning number 6. They're trying to get back on the board for the first time since the first inning when Kyle Harper went deep on a 2-run shot. Looking at a bunt that time, Sherrick took it. Pitch missed as well for 1 ball and no strikes from Peter Allegro. Another one missing down low. Sherrick not showing bunt on that occasion. It's now 2 balls and no strikes. Well, neither team has scored since the first inning. Ridgefield was out to the 1-0 lead on the Barnum sac fly. HarbourCats responded with a 2-run home run by Kyle Harper in the bottom half, and we've had a bunch of zeros since then. Swinging a foul back to the screen. It's now 2-1 on Sherrick. Sherrick from Seattle University. He enters today's ball game at 272. Just the 11 at-bats for him. Does have, though, a couple of stolen bases already. This guy, once he does get on base, loves to make things happen on the base paths and take an extra 90 feet here or there. Sherrick bounces one to first base. This could be a tight play. The throw just got him. And a nice job by Allegro to cover the bag. That one had to be him getting over that first base bag and winning the foot race with the speedy Sherrick, because the first baseman Grayson Sterling had to field that one and he was not going to be able to field it and step on the bag. Sherrick was going to beat him. So here now stepping in, Jason Willow. He hit a big home run in the ball game on Sunday. Coming right on the heels of the Harrison Spawn solo shot. Willow also took one over the wall. Oh, and 1 pitch to Willow is going to miss outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Willow 1 for 2, single and a strikeout in his 2 plate appearances tonight. Swinging away at that 1-1 pitch and popping it foul. It's now 1-2. Well, we're going to take a bit of an earlier look than usual at the out-of-town scoreboard here tonight. And there's a reason for that, which I'll get into in just a moment. 1-2 pitch is a cut and a miss by Willow. That's going to be out number 2. So the second time Willow is down on strikes in this game. But one of the things the HarbourCats are kind of nervously tracking is the Corvallis Knights, who entered today on a 16-game win streak. And why is that of concern to the HarbourCats? Well, Victoria has a West Coast League record 19-game win streak. That came back in the 2016 season. It's still standing up as the longest win streak in the West Coast League's history. And that's something the HarbourCats are proud of. They want to keep that mark of the 19-game win streak, but Corvallis is certainly threatening it with 16 wins in a row. Carrying over from the first half now to the second half. They've been absolutely red hot. They beat the Port Angeles Lefties 7-4 down in Port Angeles last night in the first game of that series. But here tonight, as we look at the out-of-town scoreboard, this one is popped up into shallow center field. It's going to be run down in center, and the catch is made by the shortstop, Johnny Weaver. Well, no time for the out-of-town scoreboard in this 6th inning. We'll do it in the top of the 7th. HarbourCats still in the lead here on a rainy Tuesday night in Victoria.
And we are back with the Good Life Fitness Bubble Ball Contest. Today we have Matt and we have Steven. The idea is knock over your opponent's pillar before they knock over yours, or run your opponent over. On your mark, get set, go. Awesome. There is your undisputed winner. Great job, fellas. The winner gets a prize from Good Life Fitness. Thank you to the Commissionaires for providing security for all Victoria HarbourCats games. Commissionaires trusted every day, everywhere, safeguarding communities. Fans, it is last call for 50-50. Get your end of the roll. 50-50 tickets. Fans, $2 mini donuts will supply last. $2 mini donuts. Leading off to the Raptors, the first baseman, number 12, Grayson Sterling.
We've reached the late innings already. We're just past 8 o'clock local time here in Victoria, and it's already in the 7th inning. So a fast-moving ball game here on a bit of a soggy Tuesday night. Game 2 of this 3-game series to start the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for the HarbourCats and the Ridgefield Raptors. Hunter Hennig goes back to work now for his second inning of relief. Dakota Hawkins was very good. Hennig is pitching to Grayson Sterling, the first baseman. There's a swing and a miss. And Sterling becomes out number 1 on 3 pitches. Well, in the last half inning, I teased the scoreboard to look at the out-of-town scoreboard. And I was mentioning the Corvallis Knights and their 16-game winning streak, but Port Angeles is ahead on the Knights 3-1 in the top of the 5th inning. In fact, Corvallis has just scored a run to make it 3-1. It's initially 3-0, so the Knights trying to play from behind to extend that win streak. See if they can get to 19 to equal the HarbourCats, or 20 to surpass the HarbourCats. There's just 2 other games outside of the Victoria game here that we're watching and the Port Angeles Corvallis game here on this Tuesday night in the West Coast League. Bellingham leads Walla Walla 5-3 down at Joe Martin Field in Bellingham. That one in the bottom of the 4th inning. And in the bottom of the 5th, down in Wenatchee, the hometown Apple Sox are getting shut out to this point by the Bend Elks 3-0. 1-1 pitch is waved on and missed by Michael Jorg. It is now 1-2. Hennig looks dialed in out there on the hill, yet to allow a base runner. And he's also really seemed to confuse a lot of these hitters for Ridgefield. A lot of ugly swings, you would say. That one, though, is taken by Jorg. Now 2-2 the count. Was a very good outing for Hawkins. 5 innings, 3 hits, no walks, 1 earned run, and 5 strikeouts for him in his first start of the summer. Little bouncing ball foul over towards the HarbourCats dugout. 2-2 the count. Hennig pitching to Michael Jorg with the bases clear and 1 out in the top of inning number 7. Time called now at the plate as Jorg steps out of the box.
Get them while supplies last. Also, 10% off hoodies and 20% off t-shirts at the merchandise booth.
Still raining, but not that hard as I look around the park. Downstairs in the dirt. 3-2 now the count on Jorg. It's one thing that you definitely notice about the rain is if it rains for a long time, a long period of time, it usually isn't raining all that hard. If it's raining hard, it's usually not going to last very long. That's what I've found anyway, is usually the case. There's a swing and a miss by Jorg as the throw from Pettit goes down to third base. They'll chuck it around the infield. It's another strikeout for Hunter Hennig. He has missed a lot of bats. He has looked very sharp. Hennig in relief. That is now strikeout number 2 for him in this inning. There's a breaking ball that misses up high. 1 ball and no strikes on the catcher Dominic Enbody. In this ball game, Enbody is 0 for 2. Got the day off yesterday, so making his first appearance of the series behind the plate tonight. There's a strike. It's 1-1. Enbody don't think he was thrilled with that call by home plate umpire Jaden Sabin. Was running towards the inner half of the plate. Might have just missed inside, but was ruled a strike. 1-1 pitch is popped up down the left field line. Harrison Spahn going after it, but he's not going to get there. Don't think there was anyone who could have got to that ball. Would have taken Usain Bolt type speed to get over to that one. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Bases clear, top of the 7th. HarbourCats have held the Raptors off the scoreboard since the 1st. And they continue to lead it narrowly, 2-1. As we're now in the late innings, fans get into it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pop up in behind home plate, and this one will get back out of play. So it remains 1-2. It is still 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch. That one well in the dirt. Hennig might have just lost the grip on that one as he missed well in front of home plate as well. 2-2 now the count. Easy take for Embody. Even count now, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Hunter Hennig looking for one more good pitch to get him through the top of the 7th. Bounced up the middle. This one will get through into center field for a base hit. A solid ground ball from Embody that snuck through the middle infield. And so the inning will continue now for the Raptors with a base runner at first and 2 out. So next up, the third baseman Tyler Earn, and Earn is 0 for 2. First pitch swinging is Tyler Earn, and he fouls that one away. No balls and 1 strike. Well, the HarbourCats trying to get back in the win column after the loss last night. Of course, they did punch their ticket to the postseason on Sunday with the first half North Division Championship, so it was not critical that they come back and win the ball game last night, but I'm sure they'll be okay with the one game to start the second half, but they will want to get back in the win column and back playing the same high level and high quality of baseball that they were playing in the first half that allowed them to win the division. Because winning the division is no good if you slack off in the second half and then go into the playoffs not feeling very good about yourself. There's a swing and a miss by Earn. It's 1-2. Good fastball at 86, well located from Hennig, and he got it by Tyler Earn. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, runner at first. And Hennig trying to pitch around that 2-out base knock. One, 2. That one hit hard but foul past third base. But again, it is important that the HarbourCats do get back to treating every game like it is a must-win, even though, of course, it is not anymore. HarbourCats have shown that when the pressure's on them, when they're trailing with in a late lead or when they're in a tight game, that's sometimes when they play their best baseball, both on the mound, pitching-wise and hitting-wise. They're in a tight one here tonight, 2-1 the score. That one will miss outside and low. It's now 2-2. Both teams have been held off the scoreboard since the first inning. For the HarbourCats, Hennig, and before him, Dakota Hawkins doing an excellent job on the mound. It is 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Earn. He went around. That is strike 3. So a punch out for Hunter Hennig, and it's time to stretch at Wilson's Group Stadium.
All right, fans, it is time for the BC Transit 7th inning stretch. Get on up, stretch it out, take me out to the ball game.
It's a shame.
number 51, Kyle Harper.
We're back for the bottom of inning number 7, and the HarbourCats still lead 2-1 over the Ridgefield Raptors, as Kyle Harper will dig in to begin this bottom of the 7th for the HarbourCats. Harper, of course, responsible for the entirety of the HarbourCats offense tonight, and he did it on one swing with the 2-run home run in the bottom of the first inning. So that's why the HarbourCats lead 2-1 in this game. And we're now in the late innings. We're heading towards the 8th, as Harper sends a hard liner out to right center field. This is down into the gap, and it's going to roll all the way to the wall. Harper will pull up at second base. He's not going to try to test it for 3, but he has a leadoff double.
That is our first double of the game. Someone has one against him. We get 2. Tim Hortons.
Harper, of course, a catcher by trade, so he's not the fastest base runner out there. That was a very hard, though solid double towards the right center field gap. And so next up, Tyler Pettit, as the HarbourCats look for some insurance runs here in the bottom of inning number 7. Pettit 0 for 2 with a strikeout, so trying to get his night going. Really the only hitter in the HarbourCats order that has had a good night, you would say, was Harper, who is 2 for 3 now with a homer and the double. Although Nick Adams is 1 for 2, and Jason Willow is also 1 for 3. But those are the 4 hits the HarbourCats have in total. Raptors also have 4 hits, but just the 1 run. And the HarbourCats have committed 1 error. Both bullpens have some activity going at the moment. Right-hander throwing for the HarbourCats, and as well, right-hander up for Ridgefield in the left field bullpen. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tyler Pettit. Harrison Spahn will be next, as the HarbourCats try to knock in Kyle Harper from second base with nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th after that leadoff double. Ball and a strike. Swing and a miss. And it's now 1-2. It is still the starter for Ridgefield out there, Peter Allegro, and he has been very good to this point. 6 innings, just the 2 runs allowed on the 1 mistake he made, the ball that was crushed over the wall. So 4 hits in total, 1 walk, 2 earned runs, and 6 strikeouts through 6 innings for Peter Allegro. Harper takes his lead off of second base. Pettit pops one up. This one is going to get foul into the seats. 1-2 count on Pettit. Now I mentioned that Allegro had a very poor start in his last outing back on July the 3rd down against the Bend Elks. But he has certainly bounced back here tonight with an excellent outing to this point for the Raptors, trying to finish it off here in the 7th and keep it at just the 2-1 HarbourCats lead. 1-2 pitch. Soft liner. It's going to get down at second. The throw goes to first, and out is Pettit. Kyle Harper had to make sure that ball was going to get down, so he wasn't sure, so he had to go back to second base to avoid getting doubled off if the ball did not get down and was caught on the line at short.
The third baseman from Cal Baptist.
So Harper stays put out there at second base. Harrison Spahn now will step in to hit. Just back to Peter Allegro, the way he's pitched in this game. He is, though, of course, despite pitching very well, in line for the loss. There's a big swing and a miss by Spahn, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Would be a very tough loss for him to take, all things considered. Now he's through 6 1/3. So the bats on the Ridgefield side trying to get something going when they come back to the plate in the top of the 8th to see if they can get Allegro off the hook. That one came inside, almost hit Spawn. It gets away from the catcher end body, and up to third goes Kyle Harper. So that's a big 90 feet. Spawn now can knock in a run without necessarily needing a hit. The infield is now all the way in for the Raptors. They do not want to allow another run to score. So Harper at third base, one away, 1-1 count on Harrison Spawn, infield in. So Spawn's going to have to try to get one through the infield here. 1-1 pitch, outside, 2-1. So Spawn recently, something that I've noticed, he looks a lot more confident at the plate. Spawn hits one right to second base, coming home with it. The tag is applied. And the out at home. Kyle Harper gunned down, trying to score from third, and a great throw as well from Boyd at second base. And hanging in there, end body with a little bit of a collision at the plate, was able to hold on to the baseball and apply the tag. So that's why you bring the infield in, and it pays off this time for Ridgefield. So Spawn now reaches on the fielder's choice. He's at first with 2 away. Swing and a foul by Nick Adams, the right fielder, who steps in 1 for 2. Pitch in the dirt, check swing, and no swing from Nick Adams. Good block there by end body. Lunging to his right to keep that one in front and hold Spawn at first base. Decent lead off of first for Spawn. Swinging a foul tip to the screen, 1-2. HarbourCats did have a runner at third base with less than 2 outs, but could not get that run in as Kyle Harper was thrown out, trying to score on a ground ball to second base. 1-2 now. Swing and a miss by Adams, and that ends the inning. So a nice job by Allegro. He's through another scoreless frame. 7 innings of just the 2 runs allowed, and we go now to inning number 8. HarbourCats still lead it 2-1.
Today we have Chantel and Taylor. Very simply, you are going to put your heads down, you're going to spin around 10 times, and then go high-five Harvey. On your marks, get set, spin. 7th, you get a better prize, right? Are the HarbourCats winning? They are. You are a believer, sir. You're a nice work. I have 2 tickets to an upcoming HarbourCats game. I have 2 passes to the Ghostly Watch Tour and 2 passes to the English Sea Center. So enjoy. Now pitching for your HarbourCats. From Pomona, Pittsburgh, number 18, Luca Green. Leading off for the Raptors, left fielder number 41, Noah Taylor.
Noah, here it comes.
We've reached the 8th at Wilson's Group Stadium. Luca Green now is on to pitch here in the 8th inning for the HarbourCats. We also have a pinch hitter as well, Cameron Rapetti, stepping in to hit for Ridgefield here to lead off the inning. Green stands at 6'1", 195 pounds from Austin, Texas, and Pomona Pitzer. So just as I was talking about both him and Hunter Hennig, Green comes into the game right after Hennig, who gave the HarbourCats 2 very good innings of relief, so Green will look to do the same here. There's a strike. It's 1-1 on Rapetti. Green, like Hennig, has enjoyed a good start to the season. In 8 appearances out of the bullpen, he's 1-1 with a 3.60 ERA. He's allowed 10 hits and 4 walks with 10 strikeouts in 10 innings. The pitch, the 1-1 pitch, was fouled away by Rapetti. Now 1-2. Well, Cameron Rapetti started yesterday's game at third base, and he went 1 for 3 with a walk. This one is right back to the mound, and it's going to be flipped over to first by Green for the out. There's one away. So Rapetti was busy yesterday because he played third base, then in the middle of the game came on to the mound from third base, and he threw 3 innings, allowed a run on 3 hits and 2 walks while striking out 2. So now he's going to pinch hit here and become out number 1 of the top of the 8th. .84 on the fastball there from Green that misses for 1 ball and no strikes. This is Justin Boyd, so it was Noah Taylor, the left fielder, that Rapetti hit for. Boyd, the number 9 hitter and second baseman. This one, a little flare, is going to drop foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Boyd again in the number 9 spot for the Raptors, so they'll go back to the top of their order for Johnny Weaver after this at bat. Ridgefield trying to get something going at the plate. Just scored the 1 run on the sac fly. They had back-to-back hits to begin the game, single and a double. Then they got the sac fly to get on the scoreboard, so it was a very good start for them in the first, but they've been dead quiet since then. There's a strike, 1-2. Good fastball, well located on the outer half of the plate by Luca Green. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Green looks in, now delivers the 1-2 pitch. This one's driven in the air out to left center field, racing over to it and making the catch. Jason Willow, there's 2 down. That was decent contact off the bat of Boyd, but just left it up there for the speedy Jason Willow to track it down in center field. So there's 2 away, and looking for a 1-2-3 inning out of the bullpen is Luca Green. He will face Johnny Weaver, who, remember, did go deep in yesterday's game. So far tonight, Weaver is 1 for 3 with a run. That'll miss to him for 1-0. But Weaver, with the home run ball, his 3rd of the summer, which puts him in a tie for the team lead. There are 4 Raptors who have hit 3 home runs so far on the season. And it is, of course, a warning. This one is driven in the air deep to left field, back towards the wall. It is gone. And it's going to be Weaver going deep again for the 2nd night in a row. And this one ties the game in the top of the 8th. Well, Johnny Weaver, with a flair for the dramatic in this series, hit the 3-run homer last night that put Ridgefield ahead 4-1 in the 7th. And now here in this one, he ties the game at 2. And with that, Weaver as well takes command of the solo lead now on the team with his 4th home run of the summer. So that's the big swing of the bat that Ridgefield needed. And it's the first run for either team since the first inning, and we're here in the 8th. So work to do now for the HarbourCats when they come back to hit in the bottom of the 8th inning, but with just 1 out. No, check that there are 2 outs in the inning. Still, though, a chance for Ridgefield to try to keep on rallying and see if they can take the lead here in this top of the 8th inning. One ball and 1 strike on Jack Bauer. There's a swing and a miss. It's now 1-2.
Ride it out, you're fine. Ride it out.
One ball, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Hit to first. Tough hop for Frankie Neiman, but he's going to hustle over there and take care of it himself. So it is a solo shot by Johnny Weaver that ties the ball game up, and we go to the bottom of the 8th, 2-2 ball game here in Victoria.
$594.50. It's a green ticket. 0, 1, 9, 9, 1, 6, 019-916-01594.50.
The town of View Royal was able to purchase land to build a new public safety building using provincial gaming revenue from hosting Elements Casino Victoria. The new building has larger sleeping quarters, so volunteer firefighters can be on call, on site, and respond to emergencies even faster. The building isn't only home to the town's fire department, though. It also has space for public safety staff and a secondary emergency operations center, too. BCLC, we're community-minded, with your community in mind.
Chase Mydroth will dig in to begin this bottom of the 8th inning for the HarbourCats. Now a new ball game at 2-2 in the late innings. For Victoria here, Mydroth puts a bunt down. This is a very good bunt, and there's going to be thrown away. Mydroth now goes to second, and he will stop there. He's in scoring position with nobody out. And it's incredible what putting the pressure on the defense can do. Mydroth, that was a perfect bunt down the third base line. I think he was going to be safe anyway, and probably a ball where the third baseman, Tyler Earn, might have been just better off putting it in his pocket and not even trying to throw to first. So right after the home run by Johnny Weaver to tie the game up at 2-2, the HarbourCats are threatening here. Tanner Haney will step in. He drove in the 2 runs in the 9th inning yesterday that sparked a HarbourCats rally. Just fell short in the 9th, but Haney did play a part in it. Here's a meeting down at third base with Todd Haney and his son Tanner to go over the what he would like Tanner to do in this situation. We'll see if he might be bunting to try to get Mydroth to third. Todd Haney is coaching at third here tonight in place of Jason Leone. He is putting a bunt down, right back to the mound. That's a good bunt from Haney. It'll get the job done. Mydroth goes to third. And a well-executed bunt by Tanner Haney gives the HarbourCats a chance to go ahead here without necessarily needing a base hit, although the last time the HarbourCats were in this spot, the infield came in for the Raptors with Kyle Harper at third and 1 out, and on a softly hit ball to second, Harper was thrown out at the plate. It's going to be up to Kyle Sherrick. Here's the first pitch to him. It's going to miss outside. 1 ball and no strikes. There is still a right-hander throwing in the bullpen for Ridgefield, but this is still the starter, Peter Allegro, who is approaching the century mark with the pitch count. 1 ball and no strikes. Sherrick takes strike 1. That was pitch number 95 for Allegro, so 5 away from 100. Sherrick is 0 for 3, but that can all be forgotten if he can get the winning or the go-ahead run in. Sherrick bounces it foul. It's now 1-2. So a strikeout spot here for Allegro, trying to get Sherrick to get himself the 2 outs. Allegro has 7 strikeouts through now 7 1/3 innings of work. 1-2. Sherrick with a wave and a miss in the dirt. The throw will go down to first base, and that is going to be the 2nd out. So it's going to take a hit, and Jason Willow will be the batter.
The center fielder from UC Santa Barbara, number 22.
So big spot for Willow, trying to pick up his teammate Kyle Sherrick, who could not put one in play to get Chase Mydroth home. Infield back to normal depth now for Ridgefield as Willow steps in. First pitch, Willow rolls it into left field. That's a base hit. Mydroth scores, and Jason Willow gives the HarbourCats the lead. You talk about picking up your teammate. Willow did exactly that. Coming up with a 2-out base knock, and I think he also just knocked Peter Allegro out of the ball game. Out of the dugout is Chris Cota. I think he's going to take the ball, and he will. Handshake as well for Peter Allegro. He is now once again in line for the loss after briefly being off the hook, but Allegro was excellent tonight for Ridgefield, and he deserves this nice ovation that he's getting. HarbourCats, though, are going to face a new pitcher as Ridgefield goes to the bullpen. We'll be back in a moment.
Hitting for your HarbourCats.
Sorry, not bringing beer this time.
From Fresno State, number 35, Emilio Nogales.
New pitcher and as well a pinch hitter here for the HarbourCats as we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. Victoria has answered back the 1 run that was put on the board by the Johnny Weaver solo home run in the top of the inning. Jason Willow with the single a moment ago that gave the HarbourCats the lead. 3-2, and also knocked the starter Peter Allegro out of the ball game.
No, nobody.
Pinch hitter is Emilio Nogales. who will hit in the 3 spot for the starting first baseman, Frankie Neiman. Jason Willow over there at first. Not a big lead for him with 2 away. No balls and a strike to Nogales. Willow running. The throw goes inside. And he's going to steal second base. I should say the pitch was inside. The throw down to second also was a little up the line towards first base.
Good effort.
The new pitcher, by the way, for Ridgefield is Trask Tellis-Manich, standing at 6'1", 200 pounds, native of Gladstone, Oregon, and he comes to Ridgefield from the Oregon Institute of Tech. He is 1-0 with a 1.86 ERA in 4 appearances on the summer, allowed 6 hits and 4 walks with 4 strikeouts in 9 2/3. So Willow now in scoring position at second. Insurance run out there for the HarbourCats if Nogales can come through with another 2-out base hit. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nogales hard hit back up the middle. Sliding stop at short, and the throw got him to end the inning. Nicely done by Weaver to prevent a run scoring, but the HarbourCats do take the lead. Jason Willow with the single, and it's 3-2 as we go to the 9th.
Let's hear you.
I'm feeling unsafe.
Oh, you guys can do better than that. Let's hear ya. Getting better. All right, we are going to give you 1 chance and 1 chance only. We need you to be as loud as you can. Let them hear you all the way out in the stoop. Sounds like there's twice as many of you out there tonight. On that note, tonight's attendance, 1,397. On behalf of the HarbourCats, we'd like to thank you for coming out and supporting HarbourCats baseball. Fans, this 9th inning is brought to you by Highland Pacific Golf, Victoria's friendliest public golf course.
Sunday, I had to walk the bus tonight.
Fans, we have a welcome to Marjan and Julian.
I went there like 4 times. They're like, we're not there. We're not drinking. I was like, well.
So they rented the bus for the experience, but they wouldn't.
Now pitching for your HarbourCats from Cal Baptist, number 55, Matt Amrine. Leading off the Ridgefield Raptors, designated hitter number 37, Brody Barnum.
I try to uplift my
We are back for the 9th inning, and Matt Amrine, the HarbourCats closer, is on, looking to complete the win for the HarbourCats and pick up the save. He has just 3 outs to get, and he has just the narrow 1-run lead, so no margin for error for Amrine. 1 ball and 1 strike now the count on Brody Barnum. He's also going to face the meat of the Ridgefield order in this 9th, with Barnum, Sterling, and then Jorg stepping up to the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Barnum, leading off the top of the 9th. That'll miss down low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Amrine has 4 saves on the season, but it's been a while since he last got a save. He just hasn't had a lot of save opportunities recently. Got 4 in very quick succession early in the first half. That's going to miss outside. It's now 3-1 to Barnum. Starting to rain a little harder again here as we're in the 9th inning. HarbourCats with that 3-2 lead. Amrine stands at 6 feet, 178 pounds from Upland, California, and Cal Baptist. 3 balls and a strike. That's outside. It's going to miss for ball 4. So the last thing you want to do is the closer coming in to work the 9th with a 1-run lead is walk the leadoff man. That really puts the pressure on, but Amrine's going to have to work around it now in this top of the 9th. Amrine is 1-1 with a 2.53 ERA in 9 appearances. Allowed 5 hits and 3 walks in 10 2/3 innings with 11 strikeouts. So he has been very good when counted upon in the late innings. Another one missing on the first pitch to Grayson Sterling. It's a ball and no strikes. Barnum at first base, nobody out after the leadoff walk, and the hitter Grayson Sterling at the plate. 1-0 pitch, sliced foul, 1-1. Now going to be a meeting between the third base coach for the Raptors, Chris Cota, along with his hitter at the plate, Grayson Sterling.
Getting out.
See how the Raptors want to play this. Of course, one option might be to try to bunt that tying run into scoring position so that all you need is a base hit to try to score it. But that also does give up an out. And they have the runner at first with nobody out. So we'll see what Sterling has been told here from Chris Cota. Showing bunt now, and he bunts right through it for a strike. So clearly the information from Cota was to put the bunt on, but he did not get it down. Probably won't be bunting here with 2 strikes. It's 1-2. Barnum over there at first base, and here comes the pitch from Amrine. Just a little piece of it to stay alive there from Sterling, and it's still 1-2.
Hey, boy. Hey, way ahead of your pitch now. Here we go.
That last one, an 87-mile-per-hour fastball from Amrine. It is now 1-2. On the ground to first, Nogales will go to second for the force for 1. That's all they'll get. But it was a good decision by Nogales to get the lead runner. He perhaps could have tried to step on first base and then throw it down there to second, but that would have been a risk because then the HarbourCats would have had to apply the tag, and it would not have been certain to get that leadoff man. So with the 1-run lead, of course, you want to take the out at second so you avoid the tying run going into scoring position. So a good smart play by Nogales there. It is a fielder's choice, so they just get the 1.
Well, I bought.
So there's 1 away now in this top of the 9th, and the hitter is Michael York, who is 0 for 3. Stepping off the rubber now and resetting himself, Amrine out there. Well, while we have a moment here, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard again, because Corvallis, they've come back and they've tied the game at 3-3 down in Port Angeles in the bottom of the 6th inning. 0-0 pitch dips down low to York for 1 ball and no strikes. So the Knights trying to fight their way back, come from behind and keep that win streak alive, run it to 17 games with a win here tonight. Knights have been pitching extremely well. They lead the West Coast League in just about every pitching category, and they've been getting timely hitting as well to win all those 16 in a row. It's now a ball and a strike on Michael York. Other 2 games we're looking at, Bellingham with a narrow 6-5 lead now on Walla Walla in the 6th inning, and Bend up 4-1 on Wenatchee in the top of the 7th. 1 ball and 1 strike. In the dirt, good block by Pettit. That keeps Sterling where he is. It's now 2 balls and 1 strike. The HarbourCats wound up clinching the North Division first half title with a double play ball with 1 out in the 9th. See if they can clinch this one tonight in the same fashion with a runner at first and one out. Here now the 2-1. That'll miss. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. So Amrine just having a little bit of trouble with the command sense coming in from the bullpen. 3 balls, 1 strike. He's fallen behind Michael Jorg. And the pitch. That is strike 2. Good fastball at 86, right at the top edge of the zone, and it's ruled a strike. So the count is full now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Waiting on deck for Ridgefield. Full count, 3-2, and another foul. It remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sterling takes his lead off of first. Another payoff pitch coming up. And here it is from Amrine. It's not going to be close. It's ball 4. So a pair of walks in the inning now. Amrine usually pinpoint with the command, so uncharacteristic for him. But runners at first and second with 1 out. The tying run now is in scoring position. So Amrine playing with a little bit of fire here in this 9th inning. He has 1 out, trying to get 2 more to close this one out for the HarbourCats.
Harrison, be ready. Ready. Your way. Be ready.
You don't even have to get up here. Now you just
But in my protest, I want to get up to my deck. I walked up and
So here is Dominic Enbody, 1 for 3 tonight for Ridgefield, and the first pitch to him from Amrine. It's going to miss down low for 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Amrine, it's imperative now that he gets back in that strike zone. Does not want to walk the bases loaded. Put the tying run 90 feet away with 1 out. Here now the 1-0 pitch. Another one missing, 2-0. So it's Sterling at second base, Jorg at first, 1 away. Ridgefield threatening here in this top of the 9th inning. HarbourCats bullpen is also quiet, so this is going to be Amrine's inning to finish, it looks like. Now the 2-0 pitch. Also outside, it's 3-0. So the alarm bell is starting to ring for the HarbourCats. They've now gotten someone up in the bullpen to try to get them warm just in case Amrine needs some help. But he is their closer. He's a guy that Todd Haney trusts a lot in these late game situations. They need him to dial it back in and get in the strike zone here on 3 balls and no strikes. And there is a strike. So Enbody looked to be taking all the way, but he takes a strike. It's now 3-1.
We're getting out slow.
Amrine needs another one here. 3 balls, 1 strike. Also has to be weary of Enbody up there, who might be looking to swing at something in the zone. He does swing, and he fouls one away. It's now 3-2.
Come, Eddie.
So a nice comeback by Amrine, looking for one more good pitch to complete the comeback in this at bat and get himself to 2 outs. Runners at first and second, 1 away here in the top of the 9th. HarbourCats holding on to a 1-run lead. And the 3-2. Ball 4 in the dirt. So they're all loaded, and there's nowhere to put the next man coming up to the plate. It's Tyler Earn, the third baseman. Ian Sanderson is going to go out to the mound now to talk things over with Matt Amrine. This might be a bit of a stall tactic as well to allow the HarbourCats some time to get a right-hander warm. So Sanderson will take his time here with Amrine. He is still a ground ball away from getting out of this. And we know he also is a guy that can punch out a hitter when he needs to. But looks like something hasn't quite been right for Amrine, because he's not a guy who walks a lot of batters.
Running for the Raptors is first base, number 1, Wyatt Hoffman.
We also have a pinch runner now in at first base. Wyatt Hoffman is going to pinch run for Dominic Enbody, the catcher. So getting a little more speed out there on the base paths.
Now batting the third baseman.
The tying run is at third base here for the Raptors. The go-ahead run is in scoring position as well at second. HarbourCats have the force at every base and the chance for a ground ball to get them out of this. Another player that's just going to enter the ball game fresh here. It's a pinch hitter for Ridgefield, and that is Carter Benbrook.
Go compete right here.
So Benbrook from UC Santa Barbara here will hit. Bases loaded, one out. Amrine, after the meeting with Sanderson, trying to get back in that strike zone. First pitch popped up and back out of play. 0-1. So an important pitch there for Amrine to get himself ahead. No balls and a strike on Benbrook. And he went around. It's 0-2. So a much better start to this at bat. There's a good 87-mile-per-hour fastball. Benbrook tried to hold up at the last minute, but could not. He was committed to that swing. It's now no balls, 2 strikes. So Amrine now can play around a little bit if he wants to. Got a nibble at the corners. Oh, 2 in the dirt. Good take by Benbrook and a good block by Tyler Pettit. For Ridgefield, Sterling at third base, Jorg at second, and Wyatt Hoffman, the pinch runner, at first. Amrine still ahead here, 1-2. Strike 3 call in there at the knees. And Benbrook down looking for the second out. So Matt Amrine is 1 out away. And he will face Cameron Rapetti, who came into the game as a pinch hitter. Rapetti made an out in his only at bat to this game. And he's going to get a little bit of a better grip here before he steps up to the plate. The rain is still falling at Wilson's Group Stadium. And so Rapetti trying to get a bit better grip on the bat.
I think they got tar over here.
I think he actually wants a little more grip, so he's going to make sure he has a good feel for the bat before he steps in this critical at bat. So the base is still loaded, 2 away, top of the 9th inning. 5 hits apiece. HarbourCats with the narrow 1-run lead, 3-2. There is 1 error on both sides of the scoreboard as well. So it's been a good even ball game tonight. Really, both of these 2 games have been very evenly played. Narrow 1-run win yesterday for Ridgefield. HarbourCats trying to return the favor. This one is a little flare out to shallow left field. It's going to hang up. And the catch is made by Kyle Sherrick to end the ball game. Well, what a job by Matt Amrine here in the 9th inning. Worked himself into a bit of trouble, but worked himself out of it. And he picks up the save. The HarbourCats win it 3-2. Kyle Harper with a 2-run homer in the bottom of the first inning, and then in the bottom of the 8th, right after the Raptors tied it up at 2-2, Jason Willow gave the HarbourCats the lead, and they held on to it for good as they win it 3-2. So 3 runs on 5 hits and an error for the HarbourCats, 2 runs on 5 hits and 1 error for Ridgefield. HarbourCats victorious in the middle game of this series. We'll have a rubber match tomorrow, same time, same place, 6:35 at Wilson's Group Stadium on Go Live Broadcasts and Shaw Spotlight. For now, though, my name is Mike Edwards, along with Chris Jaycox, our great producer in the truck. Thanks for tuning in. Good night from Victoria.